Hello, I'm Brigantia, Blackbird of Blackbird's Brew. It's time for this week's divination demonstration, and of course, because it's Mabon, we're going to have a Mabon Blessing Tarot spread. So whether or not you've already done your divination for the day, I thought this would be a fun spread to share. I will be sharing a visual copy of this spread at Blackbird's Brew and the Daily Tidbits channel. But for right now, suffice it to say, this is in the form of a cross. You have 5 cards and the one in the middle. It just feels like that all the other cards are really revolving around that one. So as we're interpreting, we're really going back to the first card and seeing how those puzzle pieces really fit together. Now, as it happens, and I'm doing this one on behalf of myself, just because I thought that'd be easiest to do for this week. The center card is the only major arcana card that I pulled, so it's going to have the greatest weight anyway, so that with it being in the center and also being major arcana without any of the other cards having similar weight, that's really just going to be the core of absolutely everything. Now, as per usual of this month, we are using the Sacred Circle Tarot, written by Anna Franklin and illustrated by Paul Mason. So, let us begin. Now, the first card, it asks the question, what can I be grateful for so far this year? What's part of this year's harvest that's going to be celebrated by me personally? The card I got, our major arcana, is the moon, which of course represents the goddess and the idea of regeneration. So think about the ideas of renewal, of the moon, of the earth, of the spirit, even the reincarnation of the soul itself. It's all about going from these cycles, from the dark to the light to the dark and back again, just in this wonderful, never-ending spiral. When this comes up in general, it signifies a period of change and fluctuation in life. Nothing is remaining stable. A lot of things aren't certain. And it's about accepting that change is going to happen and the cycles of life are going to continue to flow and to go along with it as gracefully as what you possibly can. It also suggests that there is something buried within the subconscious that needs to be brought to light and dealt with. There will be a need to change attitudes so as not to cause any further pain to oneself. It's about growth, change, facing the future. And I find this quite significant to be coming up this particular juncture of my life. If you've seen some of my previous videos, I've been talking about accepting this period of change that we're in for what it is and understanding that what was before is not going to be coming back. We are only going to be able to make decisions about how we react to it in the now and what kind of future we build for ourselves. But I've also been talking about the self-healing work that I'm doing, the shadow work that I'm doing, other changes that I've been experiencing. The moon feels all very relevant to this. Now, this card also has special significance for writers and artists. It's a call to action, really. Get to work. Whatever pains you've dealt with, whatever experiences that have really impacted you, whatever that's been in your subconscious that rises to the surface, use that to make something. And I think I'm following through with that with this video channel and with other work that I do at Blackbird's Brood on our Discord server. I feel like I'm using it. Whatever's bubbling up, I'm trying to turn it into something. Even if it's a lemon, make lemonade out of it. And the spiritual significance of this card is to pay attention to what dreams have been saying, to develop psychic skills, perhaps being heightened levels of intuition, trusting instincts more. This is all part of what I'm working at, and a lot of the shadow work that I've been doing, it was sparked off by a dream that I just couldn't shake. So this one I think is absolutely spot on. This is a source of gratitude for me, and it's also a source of kind of reinfusing some fire into my veins. I have a pretty major task ahead of me, and it's worth meeting. So, next, the second card, which is just above the center. It represents the greatest achievement of the year, and also my contribution to the harvest thus far. I pulled the Ace of Wands, which is about creativity. So think powerful bursts of raw energy, new cycles, more creative energy, more inspiration, feeling restless and dissatisfied with the status quo, feeling compelled to pursue new possibilities, trying to open up life and chase after wherever the road takes you. Does this sound a bit familiar? I think this is absolutely cataloging my journey through this year, particularly the past month or two. So that's something to feel satisfied about. And whatever your own personal contributions towards your harvest are, what you really had to show for this year, take this moment to enjoy it. I mean, it took effort. It took probably sacrifice of some kind. So give yourself that pat on the back. You have earned it. You have deserved it. Whatever rewards you are getting, you are entitled to them. Next, the third card represents my greatest challenge / lesson. And I have the Two of Discs. And this represents the idea of fluctuation. And wow, do things ever fluctuate? It just feels like on a daily basis, never ending, just at every level of life. But, oh good Lord, I do have that upside down, I beg your pardon. But this particular two represents polarity, polarized power. There's power that's available, but it's going to require direction in order to manifest into anything useful. It suggests that you might be having projects that are going to be difficult, and it's going to be a need for flexibility of approach. I've been going through that with Blackbird's Brew, trying to figure out things that are going to be useful to the entire community, useful to the members in particular, and that are also serving my own spiritual needs, because I think all three of these things really work hand in hand together, and it's been a process of trial and error and listening to people and trying to have an open mind and just doing what I can to flow with it. This card speaks to changes, about having to face the inevitability of losses, but also the inevitability of future gains. It's an encouragement to put in the hard work and to later reap the rewards. Also, it has to do with being careful with finances, being careful with budgeting, using credit as sparingly as possible, which is just good advice for anybody in particular. We are in economically challenging times, and I don't think the games have even begun as far as that goes. Now, spiritually, on that level, it's all about moving with the ebbs and the flow of energy, cycles of being, the tides of life, having a need to change in order to live, and the reminder that stagnation is death. I am so strongly relating to everything about this card. It's absolutely illustrating where I'm at and where I've really had to have my most growth up to this point. Now, with the shadow work that I'm going to be doing, my growth might be taking another direction, but it's all part of that push out of the comfort zone, time to grow, trying to change, time to do things. Now, the fourth card, which is to the left of the center, it's about what needs to be brought into alignment, and this is the Seven of Wands, which represents the idea of rivalry. It indicates there's stiff competition in creative endeavors and business projects, and that new levels of imagination and creativity will be required in order to get ideas accepted or at least entertained. Pardon me, tea break. It advises to be firm but diplomatic in order to persuade people to listen at first, consider your ideas, and then possibly down the road accepting them if that's what's right for them to do. It also indicates that there may be a new course of study or even taking up a new career as a writer or a teacher. Very interesting. I do feel like this is dealing with some of my weaker points. And certainly with my greater mission with Blackbird's Brew, because there is a lot of competition out there as far as theological ideas, overall philosophy, ideas about how to approach the craft, what Wicca means, what it means to practice, what it means to be Wiccan. And there's plenty of people out there who are, if you forgive the Star Wars reference, are suggesting the quick and easy path. Just Google your answer. You don't have to think about it. Whatever empty platitude or bromide is going around in pagan memes, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. If it feels good, that's good enough. And all of this other stuff that leads to absolute spiritual stagnation and death. It's superficial. It rots people away when their mind, their heart, their intuition, their psychic capabilities, spiritually, every single level. But making the case that that is not going to be the pathway to spiritual betterment is certainly challenging. I have a very small audience here, and I'm very thankful for everyone who does watch these videos. I don't know if it's kind of the same core group or if it's multiple different people, but whoever you are, I appreciate it very much. It's helping. It's helping me carry on. It's helping me realize that there are people out there who are hearing this, who are saying, I don't want something that's just at a surface level. I don't want something that I do just for because it happens to be aesthetically pleasing. I don't want to do something because it happens to be trendy. You're looking for something that's real and raw and that can provide meaning for you throughout every area of life, through all of the ups and downs of life, whatever that happens to entail. I think Wicca can offer that for people. I don't think it's for everyone, but I do think that it is for some. So hopefully I'll be successful. I don't think I'm the most tactful or the most diplomatic person, but I can try, and at least if I'm trying, I'll be better than I was perhaps 5 minutes ago. And I wouldn't say so much that this card is really speaking to me picking up a new course of study as it is me picking up a new course of thinking, of trying to look at things from the perspective of trying to teach and communicate these ideas, of trying to build a case for the ideas that I think are important and worth preserving. That is certainly a change from my previous mode. Now, lastly, our fifth card, which is to the right of the center, it's what I need to move past from, what I might need to tithe from my harvest, the sense of contributing something from it. And I pulled the Eight of Discs, which represents skill. This card represents that you're going to be bringing about changes later in life than what's thought usual. Card of the midlife crisis, guilty as charged. I absolutely am having a midlife crisis. I'm just not in a particular panic about that crisis at this moment. It'll be okay. These are the rough seas I have to navigate. But this is also a card about putting ideas into practice, even if the process of doing so is frightening, or this can happen because certain ideas aren't very popular, or because they're just so new to oneself. I think with me and with what I'm doing with the Blackbird's Brew, it has more to do with it not necessarily being popular with what's considered to be the mainstream of paganism. But let's go on. This also represents the facing risk of perhaps losing what I already have, what I've already achieved, but that through this risk, it opens up the door to new energy and greater rewards and a deeper sense of satisfaction. Now, in general terms, this card can indicate a marriage late in life or a new phase in an existing relationship. It can even represent travel, particularly if you're referring to honeymoons or second honeymoons. So we'll see if that has any particular import on my life as time goes on. We'll just have to see about that. But I also think in terms of tithing from my harvest, passing on skills, I think that is essentially my task, at least for the coming year, and really for the foreseeable future, of what I have learned thus far. Communicating that, passing it along, continuing to learn more, and doing my best to communicate those developments to those who are wanting to make this path more than just, some trendy, rebellious thing they happen to stumble into. Of making it more than just surface level, superficial spirituality, making it have depth and meaning and actually getting something of long-term benefit from it. I think that is my task to travel, and we'll see how I do with that, and I'm sure I'll get plenty of feedback as time goes on about what I do badly and what I do well. So there's a lot to be gleaned from this. Everything does seem to be revolving around the moon and about the fluctuations. You'll see almost every single card had something to do with cycles, fluctuations, adaptations, and knowing where you are in the tide of things and acting accordingly. It all comes back to that. Two of the cards were wands, so that's the element of fire. The other two of the cards, they were discs, and of course that represents the element of earth. Earth is about the materials required to get something done, put it into practice, practical concerns. And fire is all about drive, passion, vision, willpower, getting it done. So what this is telling me is that those are the elemental qualities that I need to draw upon the most moving forward, at least for the foreseeable future. This is about getting it done. This is about having the energy to get it done, having the belief that it's all worthwhile, and that the effort has meaning and value, and that it is contributing something. I'm not just adding to the noise of pagan videos. I have something to say that is actually worth saying. And really, I think that's the most anyone could hope for as far as their public interactions with paganism, with witchcraft, with Wicca, about adding something to the conversation that isn't just more blah, blah, blahing, or just going over the same information over and over again. Getting underneath the skin of things, asking what things really mean. What does it mean to put this into practice? What are the relationships between different ideas? How do things connect? How do they not? It's all important stuff. So, bit of reassurance, a bit of challenge for growth and change, and I think altogether I'm feeling really happy about this. It's a sign that, I'm not misplacing my efforts, and my energy is not going to waste. It's something that's worthwhile, and I'm not just fooling myself. And anytime you have any kind of big project, whether you're running a video channel like this, or you're starting a new business, or you're pursuing a new relationship, or you've taken up a hobby, or whatever it is that you're doing, just having the sense that this isn't in vain, that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and it's just a question of learning to do it as well as you can. I think that's very reassuring. So if you decide to use this spread yourself, I'd love to hear about the results if it doesn't get too personal for you. Please join in the conversation at Blackbird's Brew. We're always very curious about what's going on with other practitioners. You might find some helpful insights there. You might find some insights that you were able to impart to others there. Who knows? Just come on in, say hello, and we'll just see where things take us. But I think that's it for now, and I shall see you in another video. Bye.